Gamesmanship. Every year I go around the country and I speak to court reporters. They're the people that have to record every single word that goes on in the courtroom or during a deposition. And they always share stories about the lawyers that they work with. They're particularly fascinated by the greetings and goodbyes of lawyers at the beginning and ends of the day and at the beginning and the ends of trials. They tell me how the lawyers will come out from their various tables and they'll shake hands and then come out fighting. They'll scream and yell, and the lawyers will cut each other down and talk about their mamas. It will be sometimes incredibly vicious. But then at the end of the day or at the end of the trial, the lawyers will go to each other again, and they'll have a closing, ending handshake. Well, that puzzlement in the court reporters is because the lawyers are practicing gamesmanship. So the handshake at the beginning of the interaction, specifically for males, it's a gender-based ritual, actually indicates game begins. We're buddies, we shake hands, and now we come out fighting. And that allows the lawyers in this case, or men in any business interaction, to start a game and have any behavior they want, like on a football field where they kick and smash each other up during the game. But at the end of the game, the end of the trial for the lawyers, the end of the business meeting for business men and women, they get to have a reboot, a fresh start by shaking hands. So the closing handshake actually indicates game over, we're shaking hands, now we're buddies again, let's go for drinks. So it's a wonderful ritual of rules that say, okay, once we shake hands at the beginning, we can do anything we want. Game on. But we have to shake hands at the end to say, game over, we're equals and buddies again, and now we can have a buddy friendship interaction. It's fascinating for me to study because I'm really interested in gender-based differences in communication. And it's only in the last 10, 15 years or so that a few women have understood and been able to interact with this concept of gamesmanship. And guess who those women tend to be? According to the research, they tend to be women that have played co-ed sports growing up. All of a sudden it makes sense. Think about how most men play games growing up, where there's a symbolic beginning of the game and then a symbolic ending of the game that they can add this ritual of handshakes to. So women that play co-ed sports get to practice that ritual over and over and over again until they really have it down in their limbic brain of the difference between normal interaction and game. So game on and game off is signified by that handshake at the beginning and the end. So what does that mean to you? Well, it means if you're a man that you need to be aware of perhaps the lack of understanding of the concept of gamesmanship. And for women, it means you need to understand that guys and women who've played co-ed sports growing up really have a different way of feeling and interacting that allows them to have a fresh start next time, because they only think of that particular meeting, that particular conference call, that particular speech as being the beginning and the end of the game that goes in between. So here's what happens if you don't understand gamesmanship and you're a woman. You have a meeting and you think you're friends with everybody in that meeting, and during the meeting you get criticized or you get cut down, and somebody who you thought was your buddy, your pal, your colleague really zings you. Well, if you're not familiar with gamesmanship, you think, oh, I thought he liked me and now he's being mean to me. And at the end of that meeting, you go off as a woman and tell all your friends about what that horrible guy did to you during the meeting, and you don't forgive him. In fact, you remember it. And as women in terms of a gender, we not only remember it, we save it. we put it in battery backup. Heck, we put it out on the cloud and maintain it forever. And 7 years from now, if we have to interact with that guy again in a situation that's similar, we go, oh, I remember what you did 7 years ago to me. Guys hear this and they go, oh my gosh, that's why I said something at that meeting. And after that, she didn't treat me the same. And I didn't understand because that was just game. That wasn't any big thing. I was just doing the game thing. And even in management sometimes, especially males, again, gender-based difference, will coach you on how to hold that bat better in their minds or throw that ball better in their minds. It's a coaching to make your game better. And women might take that personally and remember it and not know that that was just part of the game. So, gamesmanship is an important concept, and that ritual of shaking hands at the beginning and shaking hands at the end is critical.